Hi everybody, AP Goodman here, and thank you so much for joining me for my Saturday Spotlight segment. This is the first one, so I'm excited to kick it off, and today I have the absolutely wonderful Michelle Powers with us. Michelle is a psychological thriller writer. She has a series out as well as a few standalone novels. And I'm so excited for you to get to meet her. I've actually read 2 of her books. So I'm excited to kind of get into it. How are you today, Michelle?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. So as far as I understand, you have 5 in your current series, the Detective Willoughby series, and 3 standalone. Is that right?
Correct. Well, there's technically 4 books in the Detective Willoughby series. That 5th one is kind of a volume of books 1 through 3.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and then I do have the 3 standalones that I'm working on another one.
That's awesome. So what kind of directed you towards, the thriller genre?
I think that it's just because that's what I enjoy. What I enjoy reading, movies, TV, everything. And it just took me in that direction.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think I've seen some of your posts too about falling asleep to true crime or things along that, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm totally in the same boat. That's awesome. So do you have a favorite or a least favorite character for you to write?
I would have to say my favorite character is Detective Riley Willoughby. She was, maybe because she's my first one and from my first books, and she's the one that kind of came to me and kind of started the whole thing. So I love her. She's part of my brain. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you think that the series will keep going, or are you looking to wrap up the series soon? How do you think that's going to play for you?
I think that I still will continue on with the series, and especially with them being novellas, they don't take as long. So in between standalones, I can do one of those too if I get an idea for it. And they're my favorite characters, and I hate to say that they're done. I'm not ready to do that yet.
Oh, I get that. And, the point about your novellas are so true. As a reader, of someone who's read your books, it's bittersweet because I know when I dig into one of your books, it's not only do you write fast-paced, but it's a novella, so it'll be, a good, quick read. But then I get to the end, and I'm like, oh, right? I could have gone on for a couple hundred more pages, but, we're at the end here. So I definitely think your point about the novellas is a good one, but it's a little bittersweet as a reader.
Right, and that's what my current goal is for my writing right now is I'm trying to get to the actual full-length novel length, word count and everything. So I think that the novellas really helped me get acclimated into writing. And getting myself, to where I know how to pace and things like that. And I'm starting to write quicker now. So I think that it helped. I think it helps a lot.
It's interesting. I never even thought about that. But yeah, if you're dipping your toes in the water, I could easily see how a novella is slightly easier to champion than, 400 or 500 pages, right? Those get pretty long and in-depth and so much time. So much time.
I think that it really helped me just kind of break into writing, kind of getting those under my belt. I kind of feel like I know a little more of what I'm doing now, and so I'm enjoying it.
That's great. What is your writing process like? Are you someone who plans things out in plots? Are you someone that just kind of sits down and goes with the flow?
I'll write down my ideas, and if I can think of the twist right away, I will write that down. So I kind of have a basic idea of where I'm going, but then I just kind of sit, and a lot of times it changes. It doesn't stay the same from what I write down, but I do a little bit. I don't do a whole outline and things like that.
Yeah, I think my process, is kind of similar. The first time I think I tried to outline a whole lot because I felt like that's what you should do. But similar to you, it doesn't always end up, when you're outlining, say, even 3 scenes, by the time you get to the 3rd scene, so many things could have happened in Act 1 and 2 that the characters kind of make up their own mind and start to do their own thing.
Exactly, or I will think of something as I'm going and be like, oh, I'm going to change that.
Yeah, of course. So with talking about, pacing of writing and it being November, I feel like I have to ask if you do that NaNoWriMo that so many authors talk about in November.
I am not. And truthfully, I wasn't even aware of that until I started seeing everyone talk about it, but I'm not participating in that.
Yeah, I understand. I haven't done it up until this point, but, I know that does help, sometimes for people to just kind of have a reason to sit down and bunker down and knock some stuff out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So with everything kind of going on recently, and I know you said that you're a lover of kind of, fall and spooky things, do you have anything that you've pulled from like interests or things that you've experienced that you've pulled into your stories because you're like, oh, this haunted house I went to was really cool, or this, random dilapidated shed that, I passed on my way home from work looks really inspiring. Have you pulled anything like that?
I think one of the ones that I did pull from is I used to go to like a haunted maze. A few years ago, and I did put that in Autumn Remains, which is book 2 of the Detective Willoughby series. There is a little bit of a haunted maze at the beginning. So that was one thing that I did, and I think I don't know, everything that I watch or read, come across, everything's in there, and it just comes out little tidbits here and there.
Yeah, it all kind of makes an imprint, right? And then our mind gets to form our own backstories and plot around that.
I agree.
Great. Well, in wrapping up then, is there any other promotions or, new projects that you have going on that you'd love to tell people about?
I do have a new psychological thriller that will be coming out. I'm shooting for December 1st. It's called The Bestseller Murders. I'm hoping to get it out in time for the holidays. And then also it is the 1-year anniversary of The First Murder on December 27th, which is my very first novella. And so I'm going to do something there for that when that gets here.
That's awesome. And so The Bestseller Murders, is that part of the Detective Willoughby series, or is that a standalone?
It is a standalone.
Oh, that's exciting. And I didn't realize your first novella that you wrote was only a year ago?
It was.
Oh, my gosh. You have done so much in a year.
I got started, and it was like I just couldn't stop. I had so many ideas, and it was December 27th of last year that The First Murder, I put it on Amazon and actually put it on Barnes & Noble too at the time, but it's since been picked up at Barnes & Noble, like on their website.
That's excellent. As someone who's read that book, I can easily see why that one got picked up. That's a good one. I've read, I know Michelle knows this, but for the viewers, I've read the first Detective Willoughby and Secrets of Iron Creek Manor, and they're just so good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I will say I was kind of maybe hoping for a ghost in Secrets of Iron Creek Manor. There were so many twists and turns, and I was like, oh, is there going to be a ghost? And obviously it's, talks about the past and the present. I won't give any spoilers, but I'm ready. If you ever decide to go full ghost in a scene, I'm waiting for it.
Right? It's on my list of things to do.
It's so close to what you write, right? It's right there. So
yeah, it is.
I was looking, but it was so fun. I think the manor trope, if you will, right? The giant mansion that's kind of old and mysterious, and it's such a good setting.
I agree, and I think of that all the time. Or, any type of Victorian house, it just has that like spooky vibe to it. I know I've used it multiple times.
Yeah, the kind of mood, right? Like they have so many implications they carry without having to go into, details about every single thing. They carry an ambiance with them.
Exactly. They do. They just automatically have that.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites. So good. All right. And so if people want to learn more about you or follow you, what websites would you direct them to?
I do have my own website, which is michellepowerswriting.com, or they can look me up on Amazon or my Facebook author page.
Great. And I know you're super active on your Facebook author page. That's how we've met through the various posts and groups. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Michelle. Thank you so much for being my first interview, too. I was so excited to have you signed up. I really looked forward to meeting you. And this is the first time we've ever been face-to-face, so to speak.
It is. And thank you for having me. I was so excited.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope to talk to you soon. For any viewers out there, you should definitely check out Michelle. Like I said, I have read her books. I vouch for them 100%. If you're looking for my reviews, I have also posted those. Those are on my social media site, and highly, highly recommend. All right, so until next week, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll talk soon.